Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's the next episode of the Dragonfly. So, it's been 24 hours that I left my water bowl on my canvas, and I'm going to show you now how I discard this in my garden in the earth and just surrender and let go of all of the seriousness of this. The only thing that is left for you to do is just to trust the process and to be constantly aware of your intention, that you make sure that all your actions, thoughts, and behaviors support that intention that you set, that you keep yourself in alignment, so to say, with that vibration, and let the universe do the rest. Um, Sometimes what happens is in the first sort of phases of manifestation, you can be confronted with limiting ideas and or behaviors, and usually it comes to you through the environment. You notice it maybe in somebody else's behavior, and maybe there's a critical thought or a judgment that arises in your mind, and you think, look what they're doing. Just become aware in that moment that life is but a mirror for you. So, usually, when we judge someone else, it's because an element of that behavior, in some way, shape, or form, is part of our own. And I know that a lot of you will go, oh no, it's not, I don't do that, but you do. There are certain situations in your life where you actually behave in exactly the same way. Um, and it is all about becoming aware of that and realizing first and foremost that you're human. It's okay. We're doing some shadow work here. So please don't feel condemned or judged or like you're a failure. That's not the message here. In fact, it's the opposite. It's all about empowerment. It's all about claiming your power back from where you are maybe giving it away through a limiting belief, bad behavior, or a bad attitude. Um, Maybe the word bad is even wrong. A wrong attitude or an unhelpful attitude, whichever way you would like to frame it. It is all about becoming aware. And once you're aware, you can really practice kindness to yourself first and foremost, and just forgive yourself and recognize maybe that somewhere in that situation there is a need of yours that wasn't met, or there was a boundary that you might not even be aware of that was crossed. And maybe it is time to set better, stronger boundaries in order to protect your mental and emotional well-being. And from there, really just make the commitment to remain present in every situation and be aware when that behavior or attitude wants to creep back in, especially if it's like a habit to have a typical response to a stressor or a red flag or whatever that may be. Then, through awareness and this choice to try to be better and try to respond in a different way next time, it becomes more possible for you to begin to navigate and shift yourself, keeping yourself in alignment with your intention that you set and with the ultimate goal of living a life of your dreams. So, let's get into this water dispensing situation. Okay, everybody, I'm outside in my garden and this is our medicine Buddha. It is going to be transformed into a water feature as soon as we can afford it. So here is my water ritual water, and I'm just going to give it to Mother Earth. And I'm just going to take this paper, mine didn't dissolve, well made paper, and I'm just going to bury it like a seed. And there you go. We give thanks for this blessing. Now that sure was a lot of fun, hey? Okay, so now that we've poured our salt ceremony water into the earth, it's time to begin our painting process on our canvas. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So what I've got here, and I'm really just creating this sort of supply list as we go. You don't need these exact colors. What we're going to do now, before I show you what I'm going to use, just so that you can gather some of your art materials as well and sort of know in which direction I'm going to go now. So if we look at our reference material, we have a very nice ombre effect. I'm looking at the background now, with a very light center, and then it moves into quite a bright blue, and then in the corners or the vignette that we're going to create around the outside is then a really deep dark blue. So what could you use? You'll definitely need titanium white, and you can use maybe something like phthalo blue, that you can mix a wide range of blues with, and I mean you can do that with any blue, but I'm thinking now to have this color spectrum. It's a basic primary color that most of you will have at hand. So titanium white, phthalo blue, or even ultramarine blue will be fine, and a bit of black. So you will mix 3 shades, a lighter shade of your blue with lots of white. So on the spectrum here of our value chart, I will say it's about a value 8. So it's quite light, but it's not white yet. It's because we still need to be able to put highlights on that, okay? Then your pure phthalo blue in the middle, and then phthalo blue with a touch of black so that you can create a little bit of a value 2, just about. Very dark blue that you will use on the background. So that's sort of what you could do if you have a limited palette. But I sort of grabbed everything that I've got really. So I've got some Arctic blue, I've got my titanium white, that's all light. Then I've got here Wedgwood blue, I'm going to put it like that. Wedgwood blue, that's about a medium level. I've got a little bit of cerulean blue here. I even have a little bit of fluoro blue, which is nice and vibrant. And then starting to move into the deeper levels, I've got, what is this called? Periwinkle. Wow. I've got a periwinkle, I've got my cobalt blue, and then at the very end I've got my Prussian blue. So that's a nice range. You really don't need all these colors. Like I said, I just grabbed what I thought I might like to play with. It is a nice colorful background on here, so why not? I mean, I do like a bit of variety. If we're going to throw it at the canvas, let's do it. Okay, and then I've got just an angle brush here. You can use any flat brush or any big brush that you've got. And I have my water container to my left. So I'm going to activate my brush with a bit of water. And I've got my kitchen, I've got a towel here, and I just wipe my brush on that. So what I'm going to do now, let's put our reference material aside. So by the way, if you haven't printed out your reference material yet, just look at the description beneath this video. There's a link for you. I think I say download your reference material here. It will take you to my link tree. You will notice this beautiful dragonfly image there in the little icon. There's 2 of them. One of them is a traceable. I was looking for the word. I will share that with you guys just now. I created a traceable for those of you that maybe struggle to translate and get the image off of a very complex reference material like we are using. So I created a simple outline that you can then trace down on your canvas, or you can just print it out on the sides that you will paint on, just to make life easier. Not everyone is into drawing. I don't really draw myself. I draw I draw with a paintbrush, but I don't draw with pencil or charcoal. It's not something that I enjoy a lot. I like getting into the painting. So I've taught myself to really look at the basic structure of my reference material and to go from there. And with time, I've become better. But you can use the reference material. Both is available for you. Just click on the image, it will open, and then you are given permission to download. So there's not an actual download button, just screenshot or screen save it wherever you are working from, your smartphone or your laptop, and then print that out for yourself, and then we've got the same reference material to play with. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, first and foremost, is I'm going to put these colors aside, and I am first going to work onto my canvas here with a little bit of titanium white. I don't want these words to shine through my final image. In the end, it's just not my aesthetic, but if you like some of these words to shine through, please be my guest. And then you could also use mixing white or zinc white. That is a little bit more translucent, so it will give you a bit of a whitewash, and it's a nice base to start to mix your colors on top, and it will all make sense to you now. But I'm going to go for my titanium white. Now, before you start, I suggest use a water mister or something like that, and just mist your canvas lightly. I just want you to get it a little bit wet, because the paint will just move a little bit easier if your canvas is not completely bone dry. And then let me just make sure, yes, this is my titanium white. I've been painting with a bit of turquoise, and I think I switched the caps, and now the colors contaminated a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, then take your brush, and let's just work this titanium white into the canvas. This is just going to help you break in your canvas. It's just going to unify the foundation. It's just, I find it much easier to get paint onto the canvas if there's already acrylic paint on there. And it's like the boards, when you buy them, or the canvas, they can feel very chalky, and that's the gesso. And in the beginning, it can feel like your paint doesn't want to take on it. It doesn't want to spread. And I mean, I've watered this canvas now, so it should be a lot easier, and it will allow my canvas not to dry so quickly. My air conditioner is on here. So let's start with the lightest colors, and I'm going to dispense them straight on my canvas. I'm not going to worry about a palette right now. And we're going to work in a sort of circular fashion. Oh my goodness, okay, I'll put that just now. Let's get some cerulean blue out here. This one is quite liquid. Student grade. I wasn't very happy with that brand. It was far too watery for me. But it's paint. It's acrylic. Let's put a bit of my fluoro blue out here. That's nice and bright. Oh, I'm struggling with the caps. Let's get into a little bit of this periwinkle up here. Nice. That was a gift from a friend. Let's put some cobalt blue. Okay. And then on the edges, I'm going to put my Prussian blue. You can also use indigo. There we go. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more titanium white. Just there. You see, it's supposed to be fun. Okay, now drag the water off your brush. It mustn't be dripping with water because there's a lot of paint on the canvas. And let's start in the middle with this beautiful lighter sort of zone in the middle. We can always move things around a bit lighter. And then as you go out, just blend your colors into each other. It's just a background, people, so don't stress. We're not aiming for perfection, we're aiming for enjoyment and fun and color. And then when you get to the corners, get your darker color into the corners there, towards the edge of your canvas. Making sure you cover your entire canvas here. Just work the paint in a bit. Oopsie. That's why I also like to paint on a plastic tablecloth. Then I don't stress about painting my table the whole time. I'm going to lightly mist it. Just want to prevent my paint from drying. I'm going to switch to a different brush. I'm going to get my big round mop brush out now. It's dry. And I'm just going to very lightly dance on top of the paint, almost like I'm applying blusher. And I'm just gently going to swirl my way outwards. And I sort of stay on a certain place in the circle for a few rounds before I circle my way out. That's going to give us a beautiful circular kind of background. A radial effect, it is called. You can see the beautiful glow of color here in my brush. So pretty. Don't go back to the middle now because you've got paint on your brush. I personally think it's a good place just to let it dry. It's our background, but we can always do another layer. If you feel when it's dry that you want it even lighter in the middle, you can do this again with a little bit more white, making it a little bit lighter. But I actually quite like how the paint is sort of folded into the center. I like all of my brush marks that happened on the canvas, and I want to incorporate it. I want to use it. I don't want to blend everything to the point where everything is blendy. Remember, acrylic paint is not oil. So I know that especially for people that's used to working with oil, or you imagine that your acrylic paint must function like oil, that you might get frustrated when it starts to dry on you, especially towards the outside where the layers are a little bit thinner. That's why I like to work with a mister and have enough paint on your brush so that it doesn't get sticky too quickly on you, so that you have a little bit of play time. But don't try to overwork the background. It's really not that serious. It really just breaks it in. We've got a very nice foundation to play with now, because there's still a lot going on top. But we don't have that chalkiness of the guest show in the background, and I think this was a beautiful initiation. It sort of went from the water ritual in a clockwise direction, and it's already manifested almost like this whirlpool that is pulling down everything that we intended for ourselves. So this is what we're going to start with. So get your reference material and print it out. This is a 30 by 30 centimeter square canvas board. Like I say, you can work on paper, you can work on stretched canvas, you can go smaller, you can go bigger. When you print out your reference material, this is printed on an A4, but if you really want to trace it and you're on a 30 centimeter canvas, you might want to ask them to print it on an A3 paper for you, then it should fit enough for you to be able to trace. So get your reference material, get your background done, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys enjoyed most about this process so far. Check on the Patreon app. There is a group chat for my paid patrons. It's also called the Creative Heart. Please engage there with me. That is for all the paid members, all the paid patrons only. And that is where we can support one another. You can share images there. It's really an easy platform. It's pretty straightforward. It's a lot like Messenger, but it's restricted and it's private. It's completely safe. So please share images of your progress with me. Tell me what you like most about each episode, or what you're struggling with, so I can support you there, or just direct message me. I appreciate that as well. And if you do want to add value to my videos, remember to like them, even though it's private. It's for future Patreons. And if you have a question or feedback you want to give me, please write it in a comment beneath each of these episodes. Keep it kind. If you're really upset about something, then maybe direct message me. I hope that won't be necessary. But I hope to just hear a little bit more from you guys. I appreciate your feedback, involvement, and this keeps me going, getting some feedback and seeing that somebody watched the video and that they are participating with each of the lessons, and seeing your progress work really gives me the fire that I need to keep going. So I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode. Then we'll get into this a little bit deeper. Bye bye for now.